Good call.
They dodged the bullet there. But the ball,
sure if he wasn't down already, his knee didn't touch the turf earlier.
The ball carriers for Humboldt State have got to use better protection. They've got to protect that football better.
Here we go, 2:14 to play, one timeout. Proulx steps up, here's his chance. Decides to tuck this one, he'll drop down at about the 31 as the clock continues to run. Now remember, they're getting plays off about every 17 seconds, so you do the math, they can get 8 or 9 plays in, no problem if they can keep the drive alive and pick up first downs. Want to save that timeout probably for the special teams unit if they do kick a field goal to win this thing. Proulx steps up, has a man at midfield. First down, they'll stop the clock and reset the chains. Dirk Dallas with the reception. He took a shot to the chops after the play was over. Stetson Shear there to make the stop. We've got ourselves a ball game as the Jacks are now driving. Clock running at 1:40. They still have one timeout. Ball resting at the 47.
I don't see the kicker for Humboldt warming up, though.
Oh, across the middle. He had his man, Victor Spencer, wide open and running. He would have gotten at least to the 30, which put them near field goal position.
Proulx puts this ball
right
exactly where he's supposed to. Took his eyes off of it, tried to run before he caught it. You got to have those big catches like that at times like this, young man.
1:32 to play. Proulx firing, has his man this time. Dirk Dallas has become the clutch receiver. It's a first down. They'll stop the clock and reset the chains. And you bring up a good point, my friend. No warming up by the kicker.
I see the empty kicker net with no kicker warming up at the net. Maybe he's just that confident.
Brian Bloomberg, career-long 42 yards. They need to get him another 5 as Proulx gets a handoff on the delay up the middle. That is definitely in field goal range as he takes it down to the 23.
And well, maybe Bloomberg knows my guys are going to score a touchdown. I don't even need to come out there and kick it. I'm going to come kick an extra point, not a touchdown, not a field goal.
He's been sitting for a long time, though, and it is a chilly, wet night tonight with the fog rolling in here at the Redwood Bowl. Clock is stopped. Timeout on the field. Central Washington calls the timeout. On the night, though, Dirk Dallas, 7 catches, 98 yards, and look at those boys and girls. They're getting those chainsaws ready.
Chainsaws ready. Revving them up.
Blaine Bennett now has to lean on his defense. Joe Lord, the defensive coordinator, talking to his Wildcats, saying, fellas, we got to stiffen this thing up and shut it down. 1:04 to play, both teams with just one timeout. Remember, Brian Bloomberg has a career long of 42 yards. They're well within his range right now with the ball resting at about the 24.
And Todd, if you watched Mike Proulx on this drive, how precise has he been throwing the football? How bad do you think he wants it after turning that ball over? You could tell with the way he came out that first drive to scramble, the couple throws he's made, he's been precision with his passing.
This is your Division II game of the week. The defending GNAC champions Central Washington lead by 1. Humboldt State trying to knock them off and put this one into a 2-0 season start. Proulx fakes to Rouse, rolling out to his right, looking downfield. They got to respect his speed. He'll get out of bounds at about the 17-yard line, and he'll stop the clock.
And that's great. That's a great play design. You get a quarterback like Proulx on the edge where he can make plays with his legs or with his arm. He sees nothing with his arm. He runs, and he gets out of bounds, and the clock stops.
I was very premature on that interception that was made earlier by Stan Langlow, saying, in effect, he may have closed the deal. A great job by Humboldt State to get the ball on a 3-and-out, and now they're driving.
And one thing I love, this crowd, the fans, they didn't even leave when Stan Langlow got that interception. They had faith in their team, and I bet you they're all glad they stayed now.
Proulx now drags it out to about the 11-yard line. And they'll stop the clock because it's another first down. So they'll reset the chains. Ball resting at the 12. They can still pick up another first down. 46 seconds now to play. And this is where you really want to center this ball up. Everything stays in the middle of the field. Proulx up the middle. 2 hands on the ball down to about the 7-yard line. Still Bloomberg not warming up, so he must be pretty confident that they're going to get this ball in. There you see Brian Bloomberg, the kicker, who may have to step in and kick 3 points to give them the win as the clock continues to run. 20 seconds now. Rouse with the ball, and he'll be stopped at the 10, so he'll lose a couple yards on that one, but the ball stays on the left hash. And they're letting the clock down. The fans are going crazy, and they finally stop it with 2.5 seconds. Now, here's what I'm wondering. With a third down, maybe stop it with 6 seconds in case there's a fumbled snap and you get another shot at it?
The only thing I would have done, I would have run a play to center the ball because they're on the left hash. I would have run a play towards the middle of the field. There's a little quarterback keeper, maybe pick up a yard, but center the football, make it an easier kick for my kicker who has not warmed up. We haven't seen him in the net warm up, so now he's got to make a little bit tougher of a chip shot, but I'd rather have him do it from the center of the field than the left hash.
And you got to remember that Central Washington still has a timeout. Do you ice the kicker? He's been standing on the sideline for 15 minutes.
Why not?
You can't take it back to Ellensburg with you.
You can't put him on the bus with you and take him back.
So this will be a 27-yard field goal attempt for Brian Bloomberg, the senior from Redondo Beach, and that's exactly what Central Washington and head coach Blaine Bennett are going to do.
Third, final timeout of the half. It will also be a 30-second timeout.
Ice him.
You like that?
I like it. It's like playing chess. You know, that's one of the tactics you got to use in football. People think it's just all hitting each other and running and catching. There's little games you play in there, and that's one of them right there. Sometimes you got to ice that kick. He hasn't warmed up. I don't even see him taking any practice air kicks while he's out there. Just, I guess he's that confident in himself.
You got to remember, Rob Smith told us that they spent a lot of time this week on extra points, special teams. That was the focus. Last year, it was a 1-point win. Humboldt State got it here. They lost the second game to Central, but here they go. It comes down to a kick. And if he can put this through, it'll be a 2-point win this year. 27 yards out for Brian Bloomberg for the win. Who needs practice?
He sure doesn't.
Game, set, match. Humboldt State gets the win.
Great football game. Great way to end it. And it just goes to show these two teams how tough they play each other. The kicker comes out, ice me all you want. He said he's got ice running through his veins. He doesn't need to be warmed up. Goes out there and knocks it through like it's nothing.
And who would have thought 4 years ago be rushing the field here at the Redwood Bowl? But that is exactly what head coach Rob Smith has turned this program into.
They're very proud, and they know they've got a great team. You see Mike Proulx. He throws his hands up, lays down the field in excitement and you know, just relieved that he was able to bring his team back. But that's the type of team they said they have. They've got senior leadership. They've got guys that won't quit. They've got guys that persevere. And I think that Coach Smith has really brought that attitude that we can get this done. And he's got all of the guys on both sides of the ball who have really bought in.
They lose their star wide receiver, Pat Gonkoff, in the early going. 2 fumbles by Lyndon Rouse, but Dirk Dallas, Kevin Miles, Victor Spencer, Mike Proulx, they all step up. Mike Bolt, the punter/tight end, they never said never. I mean, they just came back and continued to fight and never gave up on themselves.
And you hear the chainsaws rattling. Brian Bloomberg jumps off the bench, no warm-up, knocks it through like it's nothing. That's the way to get it done.
So as the chainsaws roar here in Arcata, California, we'll be back to wrap things up. Krista Blunt will have an interview with the coach. This is what a way to start your Division II game of the week as Humboldt State gets the victory 38-36 as Brian Bloomberg steps up and casually drills a 27-yard field goal through the uprights as the fog rolls into Redwood Bowl here in Arcata. Humboldt State goes to 2-0, and for the first time since 1999, Central Washington starts the season 0-2. The defending champs have a long drive home. We'll be back to Arcata after this short break.